Okay, this will be the first video in a series of many to come. This car looks mighty fine. Outside the hood and inside the hood. I call this the trophy wife of engines. Beautiful on the outside, riddled with problems on the inside. When I bought this car, the engine had been rebuilt, I think, in the 50s. They did the best they could with what they had. And then after that, this car had no antifreeze put in it. It had regular water. And during the winter, they'd drain the water. And what had happened is through many years of that, the block had rusted through from the coolant jacket into the crankcase. I'll post a picture of that in the video. Lucky enough, when I bought this car, a spare engine had shown up. It was not in the shape that it is right now. It was a rusted pile of metal with mice living in the coolant jackets. I cleaned it up, sent it to a machine shop. I'm not going to mention the machine shop's name. I think they got in a little over their head with this engine, and I'm going to explain why. I got this engine back a year and a half ago. I should have rebuilt it then, but I was pretty discouraged with what I found. I have over 30 years experience building engines, and I just don't take anybody's word for anything. So I got out the micrometer and the bore gauges and went to town. The first thing I noticed by looking at the engine is if you look straight down the bore here, when they bored the bore, they didn't do it center with the old crank line. You can see there's 5.5 millimeters here, and there's 3 millimeters here. Now, at the time I sent them the block, I asked them to sleeve it. They told me, after they had the block for almost a year, they told me they couldn't sleeve it for various reasons. I should have went and got the block. I didn't. They bored it over. They bored it over off center. Every single bore. I only have 5 millimeter wall thickness on this side into the coolant jacket, and it's on the thrust side. I'm keeping my fingers crossed with this because this is not a high horsepower, high torque engine. We might be all right. And if you can see down in there, there's a casting web from the outside of the block to the bore, and that's where the thrust is going to be on the piston. So that might help. The other thing that I'm not happy with is when I measured out the bore piston clearance on the thrust side, they only gave me 1.5 thou. On the pin side, 3.5 thou. It should have been 3.5 thou all the way around. This bore is not round. Got aluminum pistons going in this. They heat up quicker than the block would, and that will tear up a block bore pretty quick. I need at least 3.5 thou. I don't want much more out of that. So I was pretty discouraged with that. This is looking at the block front-wise through. Those are those casting webs that I was talking about. I think what they did is when they bored this block oversized, they were taking too big of a cut. And as the cutter started to come down, the bore actually deflected. So it kind of did one of these deals here. And it also did the same thing between bores. These are not Siamese bores. There's coolant jacket between the bores. So it disformed the bore when they were taking their cut. That's the only thing that I can think happened here. Another thing they did is, this is the stock piston pin bushing. Now I've got my Dykes manual out here, and this book is from 1922, I think. I should only have a half a thou to a thou pin bushing clearance. What they did, I don't know why, is they machined or polished or whatever they did the bushing, and on the inside it's tapered. I've got 4 thou clearance on either side. So the piston is going to be doing this, and that's not working for me. So I called the manufacturer of the piston. I gave them the spec of what I wanted. This was during COVID. Everything was a little crazy back then. They gave me the right OD, but they gave me the same ID that the pin is. So now I got to fix that. So those are, I wouldn't say major things I need to fix. I just need to get in it and do it. And I'm going to start now. When I called the machine shop and I explained my dilemma, I sent them my my build sheets that I had made out, and he told me I was overthinking this. I should name the machine shop. I'm not going to. They seem like really nice people, and I think they get in over their head is really what I think happened. I'm not overthinking this. I'm going to try to fix the screw ups and get this engine together. The way I'm going to approach it is I've got a head over here too that they put guides in, but they were afraid to put the seats in. I have contacts at Roush Industries. They were more than happy. They put hardened seats in it, and they tweaked the guides to where they needed to be. I don't know if you can see another thing. When the machine shop, not Roush, the other machine shop put in the guides, you can clearly tell they put them in at different levels. My standard for quality is way above what I see here. Don't ask what the machine shop is. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just not going to use it anymore. Okay, now let me figure out how to approach this stuff. The book's saying use reamers to do this, but I have a lathe. I might just set up a boring bar and put these in there. Now I bought myself a hone stone, a good one, not one of those little cheap ball ones or blade ones. I got a real hone. I am going to try to lightly dust these because I only need to take 1.5 thou off. I'm not going to do it wet. I'm going to do it dry, and hopefully it takes care of the problem. Okay, as I get going, there'll be more videos to come.